Give me 1 second here. We're getting set up. We're flying by the seat of our pants. How's it going? So, I made a couple changes around here. You can see there's like shadows on my face. I'm trying to figure this thing out. So, summer's coming. It's hot in Florida. And the lights that I was using these like scoop work lights that I was putting like bulbs into. Those bulbs get very, very hot. So I switched to these like LED work lights. And we're going to try them out. I'm still kind of like ironing out the kinks. I had to turn the fan on because despite the LED technology, it's still hot in this room. The computer's probably at fault for that. Yeah. So I'm still kind of like tinkering with them. So bear with me if we have green screen problems like midway through or whatever. I'm still trying to figure all that stuff out. All right. So what do we got going on here? So let's figure it out. I don't think we have anything to promote. The YouTube stuff went up a little late this past week. Sorry about that. But it's all up there. If you've watched it all, you're currently up to date. We started in on this piece last time. We like started with it, and this is where we left off. We're just gonna jump in. So I don't have to like be, totally upfront with you. I don't really have any, like, I'm a pro colorist, comic colorist, but I'm not a digital painter. This is like literally me dipping my toe in trying to figure this out, like with you at home. Let's see. So we were using Chun-Lo brushes, if memory serves. Let's take it off of the brush because I know those brushes like don't work that way. Yeah. So I'm trying to remember like what brush we were using. You'll have to check out the last stream. Yeah, we like kind of started. That's Chad is Driftwood in the chat. So how does this look? Yeah, this is what we're using. So like I was talking about how like to stand out with your art and like to try to go in different directions. So that's what we're trying to do with yours, Chad. We're trying to like push your art in a direction that like nobody's really seen before. Like trying to get new fresh eyeballs on your stuff if possible. So like I said, yeah, I'm not like a digital painter. I feel like in the last stream when we were kind of working on this like halfway, I was saying that like I feel like if this was in Peter Moorbacher's hands, he would have like knocked it out of the park in like 20 minutes. And in my hands I'm like, is this done? Am I done? Are we done now? I can't figure it out. But we're gonna figure it out. So, okay. One of the things that I noticed was like I wanted to get this like kind of line like his wanted to echo the line over here, the left side and the right side of the skull, which we didn't do before, so we fixed that. Like we kind of got to get in here and just start like doing some details. The nose is like kind of tricky right now. We're a little bit tricky. And I think that's because like the shape is like nuts. Like Chad does a lot of cartoony stuff like this. And we gotta like kind of figure out exactly how we're gonna get this thing to work in like a digital painted space. I think that's part of the challenge. Like up here where we echoed like both sides of the skull. Hey Matt Garvey. Like here when we echoed at like both sides of the skull, like with this mark making here and this mark making here, or the line that Chad put down here, we're gonna try to do the same with like mirroring the nose a little bit. Let's see if we can figure it out. So I know that normally we do like, you know, comic book coloring and that kind of thing. So like we've been stepping out of our lane. Goddamn colorists got to stay in their lane. But like, okay, so we've been stepping out of our lane. I get that. I hear you. We're gonna be back in our lane after this piece. I thought about doing something like this on the weekends, but then Curse of the Iron Chef kind of took over. And if you don't know, on the weekends we do, I'm doing a comic book start to finish, called Curse of the Iron Chef. Like we did scripting, we did brainstorming, we did brainstorming, then we did scripting. We like kind of did some concept design on stream the other day. I think I gotta like shrink this thing to figure out the nose. But yeah, we like kind of did some concept design. The thing is that like, I wish that I could have spent like a little more time with it, but like, I also think that I just need to like jump into some pages. Like, I think if I sit here and like belabor it too much, I'll lose the energy. I don't want to do that. So we'll see. I mean, maybe we go like crazy highlights on him. All right, we want to do like, so, you know, we're not going to be reliant on, we're like 57. Let's drop the opacity for the lines, because like, I don't want to be reliant on the lines. Like we're going to eventually be like straight up digital painting this thing. So like what I wanted to do with the nose was I was thinking we do like a dark underside like we got going on right now. Oh, right. We're on the wrong layer. If you guys remember from the last stream, I was basically on the wrong layer like 90% of the stream. That's a thing that happens. Like, don't worry about it. So yeah, we've got some cool comic stuff coming up. Like I got some a Rick Leonardi Magic cover from the New Mutants to do. I got some Walt Simonson I kind of want to do. Declan just sent me a bunch of stuff that we're gonna work on. I think it's gonna be fun. His stuff's always real good, so we're gonna try not to goof it. I worked with him on hey Sally. I worked with him on 28 Days Later, the comic book adaptation of it. And this was like forever ago. It was funny because like there was originally somebody else that was up for it. They had me do some test pages with that person. I did those test pages. They were like, these look great, we're gonna go with it. And then that person had to like back out. So what ended up happening was they hired Declan. And I remember the first thing I thought when they hired Declan was like, I don't know if I like this guy. I think I like the other guy better. And little did I know, like, the other guy would drift off into, like, non-existence, and Declan would end up sticking around and end up one of my favorite artists. um, yeah. We're going to try to do this, like, underlight thing. This is, like, kind of intense, but let's figure it out. So yeah, we did that. God, we did that like forever ago. I also have some stuff from Drew Moss and my buddy Gavin, who helped on Heartthrob stuff. So we're gonna be doing like all that good stuff. I got like more stuff lined up for this. There was a time when like I would stream and I'd be like, what do we have to do? I have no idea. Let's find something on the internet real quick. And like now it's like, oh, I got more stuff than like I'm able to get done, you know? I think at a certain point we're gonna have to like not use this really chunky brush, although I love this brush, and like start using like a more fine kind of tipped brush, because we're gonna have to like start actually putting some details in, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm excited to get to all that stuff coming down the line. The new computer is confirmed purchased, by the way. So we'll be able to work on some like larger canvas kind of stuff. The new computer is going to be awesome and sweet, and I can't wait to get it. But I think that I'm going to, like, we were doing, I was talking about doing some YouTube stuff. And we're still going to do YouTube stuff, but I think I might do it, like, I don't want to start a series on YouTube and then, like, in, like, iMovie, and then move to PC and then be like, okay, I got to make this, like, match as best I can, but I'm using, like, iMovie stuff. So, in the interest of just like trying to make everything cohesive, I might hold off on some of that stuff. But it's gonna come. We're doing, the thing that I'm putting together is called Comic Book Secrets, and it's based loosely on or maybe loosely is the wrong word, heavily based on Conan O'Brien's bit that he used to do back in the day with celebrities, where they would like sit in a darkened room and like confess things. Mine's going to be less about, it's going to be a little bit of confession and a lot about like tips for artists, like quick, like little 10-minute lessons, stuff that like I want you guys to know about on stream, that I talk about regularly. If you watch like all the content, you definitely gonna like see some repetitive pieces in there. But mostly, if you're like in and out, you might miss something that's like worth talking about. Which, by the way, speaking of worth talking about, I saw a couple like posts online just recently. I can't remember who from, about how comic books have a way of like making you feel like a failure for like a myriad of reasons. While I don't disagree, they were like listing reasons like, I don't have a DC book. I don't have a Big Two book. I don't have anything published. I don't have, like this. I don't have that. And it's like, Well, I get it. You know, I get it. It's like tough out there to like, you know, make your own way because like you gotta like, you know, like you want these things, and comics is a beast that moves very slowly, and art is a beast that moves very slowly on top of that. And so it's like, well, it's like I know you want these things, and like yes, you will get to these places, but like you shouldn't ever feel like a failure because of that. Like I know that this is like, you know, it's easy for me to say behind a desk that like, and I've achieved like some level of success and blah 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 blah, but like the truth is that like, you know, if you just if you're keeping your eye on that prize, then like you're gonna have a bad time. And that's like the long and short of it is like if you're thinking about like the shit you don't have, then like you're gonna end up like, even when you get to those levels of success, you're gonna end up thinking about the shit you don't have. Like, I've seen a lot of people kind of like burn themselves out in this industry because they're like, oh, once I get here, then I've made it. Oh, but now I don't have this, and oh, like, you know, like that kind of mentality will like wreck you. Um, So I turned the art off. Working for the big two should be the dream, not the goal. The goal is just to make some good comics. Yeah. So like, I was thinking about this more and more because like I saw it, and like I've been just kind of like thinking about the idea of like what is success and what is failure. I think that like, so here's the thing, like I think that if you're like, I don't want to like tell you that like, you know, working for the big two should not be your definition of success, but like there are plenty of people who work in comics who like don't work for the big two and like are considered successful. You know, like I think that if you make enough waves doing what you're doing, and you like think about the work in front of you, then like you can like carry that success to other things, and like that might be like big two stuff. Um, you've been writing for 8 years, never published outside of self, and couldn't be happier. Yeah, I feel like that's like the mentality you got to have. Like, I don't think that you shouldn't have goals, and I don't think that you should necessarily like be like, well, this is me, and I'm never gonna get better and whatever. But like, I do think that like, you know, if you haven't hit goals or yet, that instead of being like feeling like a failure, you should feel like, you know, well, the work's just not done yet. You know, like it should inspire you to get up and like do the work. Like I've hit a this kind of like realization in my small career of coloring, that like I kind of feel um like I get up and I do 4 pages a day, and like sometimes those pages are for, sometimes I do five, uh but like largely I get up and like sometimes those are Oni pages, and sometimes they're DC pages, and sometimes they're self-published things, and sometimes they're like, you know, it like, the joy that I find in the work is like me just getting up and like doing the work. And like lately I've been finding just as much joy in like doing the sketchbook challenge that we're doing in the Discord, like drawing again, like doing this kind of stuff, like getting like way outside the comfort zone. So okay, we're trying to like only think about value right now. Um, I think that part of the thing that's going on here is that like I'm trying to like mess with the hair, and I'm going very, very light. And I think that maybe like the hair doesn't need to be messed with that much, because we're going to eventually be like adding color to this. So I don't know if I like need to work it beyond where it's worked right now, you know? But yeah, you know, it's like when you think about like the career, like I think that I suspect anyway that I would be just as happy, like, you know, working the day job. Maybe not necessarily while I was working the day job, but I would be just as happy like sitting down, creating, you know, on the side, like with my own stuff, than I would like with anything else. I think that you got to find joy in the work. And if you find that, then like you're usually like all set. Man, by the way, I am not a digital painter. You was going to thoughtfully agree and add some thoughts, but the mail just came and your mom sent you a box of Girl Scout cookies. Right. Priorities. Right. That's what we're talking about. Priorities. Holy moly, I am not a digital painter, by the way. I really hope that we like fix a lot of this in color. If not, we're gonna have to do a Chad apology stream where we're like, Chad, this didn't work out. I'm sorry. We're gonna do something cool with your stuff, I swear. Alright, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the other eye over here. So, Chad just kind of like made it dark, I guess? Let's figure that out. And let's kind of like start to hem this guy in a little bit. Like, fix some of this stuff. Whatever, you could barely flat. Yeah, but like, dude, I want to do a cool thing with you. And like, if this doesn't turn, if we're like experimenting too much, if we're like way outside the comfort zone and like it goes awry, I don't want to be like, well, Chad, sorry. The true success is having the support of your loved ones who will send you Girl Scout cookies. Amen. That's keeping it real right there. So let's like, I don't want to just like add, I'm kind of just like adding in my own line art now. Like, is this appropriate for digital painting? Who knows? I think that the appropriate thing for digital painting is just coming out with a decent digital painting at the end. But yeah, I mean, like, so all this to say is like, you know, I don't want you guys to ever feel like, you know, you're not successful because like you don't have a big 2 book, and because of that you like this industry is like built in such a way. This looks like a fun collab. Been trying to watch your stuff while I work. Oh yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Man, you gotta start somewhere. Happy to have your stuff be digital painting guinea pig. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I just I feel like this industry is built in such a way where like it really is slated against like, you know, you taking failure like really hard. And let me tell you that, like, it's not, comics is not the short term, it's the long term. And that, like, you really need to, like, figure out what you want in the long term. Oh, are we on to something? I think we're on to something right now. And realize that, like, you know, just because you get passed over for one thing does not mean that you're, like, ultimately passed over forever. Like, there's, like, a million different reasons why something doesn't get, like, picked up by a publisher before. Brent Schoonover and I recently did a Punisher Max pitch that I told him, I was like, I don't know, you know, like, I don't know if this is gonna, based on, like, what I know of the Deadpool office, I was like, I don't know if this is a strong pitch because, like, I know that they got some stuff planned over there. And he was like, well, let's just pitch it anyway. And I was like, all right, you know, like, whatever. And, like, it did not get picked up, despite, like, us making some cool art. Hey, Boix. Hey, subscribed. Nice. Thank you. Big two stuff should be less of an end goal and more of a bucket list item. Yeah. I feel like that too. I mean, if that's all you want to do, by all means go for it. But, like, there's so much in the industry now, and there's so many different routes you can go. Like, it used to be that, like, when I got out of school, it was like big two was the only way you could make money. Like, really, practically. And now it seems like that isn't the case anymore. Like, you can build whatever you want to build, you know? I feel like perfect examples of that are, like, the Atomic Robo guys. Like, they built a, like, beautiful comic that they're just like, we're all in on this, and we're, like, you know, gonna do what we need to do to make that work. I think it's awesome. I think that they have it figured out. I do think that you should look at any potential hold on, I gotta use all my brain power, figure this out. Any potential, like, failure along the way, like, don't just, like, write it off and be like, comics is a long game, and just keep doing what you're doing by any means. But, like, you know, just be like, all right, this didn't work. How do we fix it? Where do we go from here? You know, like, because, I mean, we're definitely like, this is going to be a long game with this whole thing going on. What brush am I using? Kind of like chalk, but with more grit. So I used Chun Lo brushes. These are brushes that digital artist Chun Lo made, that I believe she is offering through her Patreon. I grabbed them to try them out, and this one brush is really cool. It's this one right here. If you go on her Patreon, she makes really good art. If you're not familiar with her, you should get familiar. All right. So, like, bags kind of have, like, a sheen to them. So let's try to figure that out. Cool checking her out after this. Yeah, definitely do. Anyway, I don't know. That was my rant about failure. I just, it drives me crazy when like artists are like, I feel failure because I haven't made an Ant-Man issue. It's like, it seems so silly to me, you know? Because like there's success like in a lot of other places, and a lot of times when you feel like that too, like I feel like that sometimes for like dumb reasons, discouragement goes hand in hand with just being an artist. Yeah, you've had weeks of feeling like failure because you didn't love your output. That's all mental. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like whenever I start to feel that way, I try to like put it in perspective, like, well, like this isn't real. Like a lot of times I feel that way when it's like, oh, Matt Wilson got something and I didn't. Oh, Tamra got something and I didn't. Oh, you know, like, but then I'll be like, but I've gotten stuff that they haven't gotten. It's like, it's just that like there's enough going around that like everybody can have a piece, and it's not a big deal, and you should just celebrate the people around you. I don't know. Can't compare yourself to big names. Yeah. Hey Ziggy. Yeah, it's tough. You can't compare yourself to big names. You can only really like, that's the thing, is like you can only really ever compare yourself to yourself. Like if your work is better than it was a year ago, you're good. Like I'm drawing in the regularly in the sketchbook challenge in the Discord, and I'm looking at like work that I did 2 months ago because I'm new to drawing. Like I'm working out kinks, and I'm looking at stuff I did 2 months ago even, and I'm like, oh, I'm better than that, you know? And that's like a really, really good feeling. So we gotta figure out teeth. Maybe figure this stuff out. Chad snarled him and I did not snarl. Let's figure that out. He probably knows something I don't. Like I said, we're still figuring things out. All right, let's figure out teeth. I think like teeth are going to be a weird thing that I'm just going to have to like muscle through, like almost copy exactly what Chad's doing. Let's figure it out. This is a part of the process that I was not looking forward to, the teeth. But yeah, I don't know, man. When artists start to get down on themselves, especially publicly, it really like strikes a nerve with me, because like I see, hey, Josh Pums now following, thank you. Definitely felt way more pressure for success in the college early 20s than now. Yeah, especially since you're past the wonder kind window, and it's like, oh, cool, fine, I'm a baby in comics years. Yeah, exactly. Be a better artist by looking at great art and being inspired by it, not beaten down by it. Yeah, it's tough though when you see like people who are like light years ahead of you, and you're like, great, Mobius did work. Why am I even here? You know, like, scarcity mentality sucks. Plenty to go around. Yeah. He's an old man. Just pretend his dentures are out. Yeah, like, so especially when artists are like negative about their work online, it drives me nuts. Because like, dude, I'm following you. Like, should I not be following you? Are you bad? Like, come on. Like, I get that we all have like anxieties and like whatever, but like, my dude, I like your work. Why are you doing this? I don't know. That's like my 2 cents. And I feel like too, you know, I know that like potential employers like look at your um I mean, this is like a whole other conversation about it's the worst we find out an artist is 19. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But like we've all been there. It's like it's fine. Like everybody still works in comics. And this is the thing too that I'm finding out about, like, you know, you find out that like an artist is 19 or whatever, is that like there are things that I know at 36, I had to think about it there for a second, that like that artist has not figured out. And it's not like any of the mechanics of making the art. It's about like, you know, how to manage my time, where to put my focus, how to like do all the business stuff. Like that stuff is always going to be easier for me than it is going to be for for lack of a better word, kid. Although I know 19-year-olds are not children. I don't know. It's like a weird thing. I'm like struggling with the nose. I think that's why I'm struggling with the nose. All right. That kind of gave me a little bit more of a roadmap for what we want to do. Hot take, 36-year-old better than 19-year-old. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just stuff that like age gives you that like I didn't realize when I was in my 20s. I was like, I know everything. I was like, step aside, old man. Like, your bullshit's gone on for too long. The secret to success is play Hall & Oates Rich Girl on a 12-hour loop. You're not wrong. That is the secret to my success. Yeah, I don't know, man. You just can't know the shit that you don't know yet, you know? Does that make sense? Did I just break everything? I just blow all your minds? I don't know. I think that nose is starting to shape up. All right, we're doing a snarl over here. All right, I think we're making progress. I think we are. You sounded like a 19-year-old. Yeah. All right, let's save and look back to see if we're making progress. I'm confident that we are. Yes, we are making progress. From this to this, right before your eyes. Come one, come all. Uh, yeah, but like that's the other thing I was touching on was that like employers look at your social media, they see everything you post, and if you're like my stuff sucks, like you're being a downer, like you're not like I this is the thing that sometimes drives me nuts is like when I'm when I'm the colorist on something and I'm the most excited about the project. Like that's a like I know that we all work from home and we all get sad sometimes and stuff, but you don't have to put that shit online. Like keep it between you and your close friends and your therapist and like, whatever you need. But don't put it online because like if I want to be excited about a book, like I get excited about a book when a creator is excited about a book. And if a creator is not excited about a book, guess what? Yeah, you should be excited. Yeah, exactly. If a creator is like, oh, I did this book and then that's it. Like I'm like, "Oh, cool." But if a creator's like, man, I did this book and it's rad and I love it. And I'm like, yeah. Tell me more. So we're like trying to make well-defined teeth, but we're also going to like kind of jack his teeth up a little. Cuz he's old and he knows things that we don't. But yeah, I was thinking about this a lot lately because I saw some artists who I really like who are younger be like kind of like down about things, and I was thinking about like how they just it's not that it's like not happening for them, it's just that like shit, man, you need patience. You just need patience. Especially in comics. Comics just like goes so slow. I feel like the best thing you can do, if you don't have anything nice to say about your own work, go ahead and say something nice about somebody else's work. Yeah, man. Yeah, Sally. It's the same at cons. You sell because you're excited. Yeah. Um, Patience and the lyrics of Rich Girl. Yeah, that'll power you through. Um, yeah, to what Sally said too is like, comics. I feel like comics, you know, it's not in like a weird bubble, and well, I mean, it is in a weird bubble, but like when it comes to all that kind of stuff, like a rising tide rises all ships, and if somebody sees you being excited for somebody else, they're gonna be like, oh, like, this person is positive. This person is someone I want to be around. This person is someone that I might work with. Hey, Kate. Yeah, spread the love. Totally. Even if okay, so all of the things that I just said about spreading the love were like selfish. But what I'm saying is that like also the attitude that you have will trickle into your work. Like there's all these things that like it's good for you. Better than not doing it. And then also it's just like fun to be excited about like other people's work. Like I don't know why you wouldn't want to be. Like whenever somebody is like, oh my god, this drives me crazy at conventions and stuff. When I hear overhear like fans being like, well, this person sucks now, or this person's like not good, or like when people like hate on Rob Liefeld, oh my god, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because it's like it's not positive, it doesn't contribute anything, and I would rather hear what they like than hear what they don't like. I don't know. I've been on that soapbox before, but the Rob Liefeld stuff especially, just because like, you know, you can not like his work and that's fine, but like, dude, I don't have to hear about your like 13-year-old Rob Liefeld joke. Like, it's done. It's over. I get it. There's nothing about Rob Liefeld that I haven't heard before. And like, he doesn't deserve that. You know? Plus like, you're gonna bag on Rob Liefeld and then you're gonna like want to make an Image comic? Alright. Just, I don't know, some people. Alright, let's focus up. You've always defended Rob Liefeld. Yeah, he just loves making comics. That's the thing. Is like, he's maybe not the most technically proficient artist, but his love of comics comes through on a page that like I feel like most people should be jealous of, you know? Here at university, you notice that people are more quick to put their own work down than celebrate it. It's good to hear outside the bubble to get excited about making things. Yeah, see, that's the thing is like, and this is something that I learned kind of like when I was in school, like when we would put like critiques up for things that like, that if you put something up and if you're not excited about it, nobody else is going to get excited about it. You want that engagement, you know, like, and also like, if you're not excited about the work, then why are you sharing? It's just like, it's such a weird thing. Like, I don't know. I remember, we would do presentations like, so sometimes in college we'd do just like everybody pins their works up on a project and then we'd talk about it. And then sometimes we'd do like a person presents like one at a time, you know, like, here is my project, I'm standing with it, now you guys can talk about it. You felt like class critiques maybe actively put down your own work to prepare for other people doing it sometimes? Oh, that sucks, Chad. Like, I feel like class critiques had the opposite effect on me, where I was like, when I started, I was like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, by the time I got to the end of class critiques, I was like, here's my shit. Read it and weep. Like, I don't know, like, why that shift happened, but that shift definitely happened at some point. It was a total self-defense mechanism. Yeah, so like, I feel like, I don't know, you gotta get excited about it. You gotta get like, man, should we even mess with this ear? Like, I feel like it's like practically done already. Yeah, I mean, I get that it was like a total self-defense mechanism, but it like, I don't know. The whole, for me, it depended on what class, what professor. Yeah. You got to take pride in your work. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be the first to tell you, I'm not a digital painter, but like, when we put this thing out there into the world, I'm going to be like, I'm excited about this. This was my first digital painting, you know, like, fuck it, man. I don't know. So here's something that I am thinking about is maybe we darken some of the teeth in, because the teeth are starting to look weird. So we want like the focus to be in the face, right? Maybe we don't really go that deep on like the mark making on the ear and the neck and stuff, because like we want you here. Like we try to pull focus by shifting where we want, you know, the value. I don't know. Let's see. So, all right, let's do some quick like quick and dirty value down here. It looks great with the line art, by the way. Like, I don't know how we're gonna get over that, but we're gonna have to get over that. At some point. Maybe we'll do like a line art version and a non-line art version. I know a lot of like digital painters will like set the line art to like a color and then like multiply it down and then like kind of paint on top of all of that. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that. We'll see. Trying to get there. So we want the neck to be like darker than the face, because we want it to kind of like, you know, absorb all the shadows or whatever. I am gonna check out that. He's a digital painter with some very cartoony work. Yeah. So we, just for anyone joining us, we kind of like, oh my god, I'm all over the place with this mark making. Rein it in, Filardi. So we kind of decided to like do this. We're gonna do like pure value, and then we're gonna start to add color with like gradient maps, which I've never done before, on like a black and white image. I've tooled around with it a little bit, but like I think that like I might end up leaning into the fact that I am a comic book colorist more than not, because like I'm used to coloring on one layer, and I think that a lot of digital painters end up coloring the way they do with like gradient maps because they don't have the experience that I do, kind of thing. But I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna try to figure it out. We're gonna mess with some gradient maps, and then we're gonna try doing some color. So all we got left is like the feathers, really. All right, what are we gonna do about the feathers? So my mentality, although I guess the neck is still kind of looking iffy. I was just ready to abandon it. You can never quite figure out how he does it. I've been watching Peter Moorbacher's stuff lately. to like try to lift how he does like how he does digital painting, but um for better or worse. I I don't know if like that's the same thing that I'm gonna do, but I don't know. We'll see. So like Chad put these wrinkles in, and I think that's like what we need to figure out. Um, but I think that like like I was saying before when we started this is that like I think that mostly digital painting just comes down to has some really cool breakdowns that he shares. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I think that like digital painting comes down to um right, it looks effortless. It's a shitload of practice. I think it's just like you work it until it's done being worked. I think that digital painting is like kind of like what I do with coloring in a way where it's like, oh, you just like at a certain point as a colorist, I like go, all right, we're done. Like we could sit here and noodle on this thing forever, but like at a certain point, you're like, oh, we're just done now. It's all done. Um, and I think that with digital painting, it's just about like being like, okay, well, but what if we got rid of the lines? Like, how does it hold up? Can we make it hold up from there? And I just realized that like I basically just painted in the lines. I don't know if that's like a faux pas or not. I don't know. um Also, I'm using like one brush for this whole thing. I don't know if that's what you should do either. We're in a lot of like I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're just gonna do this kind of thing. We're in that whole level of life. All right, all right. Let's put in some of these. Like I don't know that there's a way to put in these kind of like neck folds without just like being like, all right, here's like we kind of did up here. I think we just work it until it looks like a neck fold. Um, Also, let's do this kind of like bounce light on the side of the neck. Oh God. Oh God. That's looking like something. Work it until we die trying. That's the plan. Um we need like a better middle ground. Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I know we've like beaten this topic into the ground, but man, I just hate when I see artists putting themselves down. Cuz it's like, dude, this too will pass. Your digital painting problem is an absolute wealth of Kyle brushes. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like unless you are unless you're like working with all those Kyle brushes regularly, like I am with digital coloring, like I wouldn't find this very approachable if I wasn't like very familiar with the entire digital, like, you know, the rich tapestry that is Kyle Webster brushes. I mean, like, we're not even using Kyle Webster brushes. All I've used is this Chun Lo brush. I think like anything, you just gotta like, you just gotta go, you know, and like figure it like we're doing right now, where we're like okay, how does this work? All right, well okay, but how does this work? All right, let's figure it out. Um, Much like Curse the Iron Chef is, like I was talking about it before. We're doing like comic book on the weekends, and like so much of that stuff I'm just like well out so far outside the like comfort zone that it's like, oh, I don't know how any of this works. Let's just start. By the way, buddy of mine today, a friend that I had made, not through comics, that said that he wanted to start writing, just sent me his first ever pitch, and I am thrilled to read it. I love this stuff. Like, I love it when somebody like is like, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, and then they're like, I'm fucking doing it. Like, he had been telling me for like a year that he wanted to do this stuff, and then asked me for pitches that he could compare it to, and then like once I gave him those, it took him a little while, and like now he's getting around to it, and I love it. I love it. I'm gonna read it later tonight, and I'm very excited. Even if it's like, even if it's not good, I'm still gonna be like, fuck yeah, man, let's do it. Like, if it's not good, I'm gonna give him pointers, but like, man, in those instances, just like doing the work is a victory for sure. Like, so far we've these teeth do not look good, but like the fact that we even thought about it, victory. All right, let's I guess we can figure out the feathers, and then we're gonna move on to color. Colorist sits here on stream and doesn't color anything. We're gonna stop doing that. So I kind of want to use the lasso. So, like, I did a Schoonover piece forever ago that had a it was a gotta make time to experiment. Yeah. It was a Sabretooth piece, and like I kind of want to do the feathers in like a similar way, rendering wise. This is going to be the way that I handle it, like comic book wise. I don't know. I mean, with this character, you could make his teeth look as bad as you bad. as bad as you want. I mean, true, but like, I'm not talking about bad as in like quality of tooth decay. I'm talking bad as in like those stand out in a weird way, and I don't know how to fix it. Kind of bad. Like bad as in like the practicality is of digital painting. So usually when I do like a fur kind of thing, I go like a little bit darker, and we're gonna make like an alpha channel for this. Here we go. Just in case I lose it. We kind of went all over the place on this thing. Yeah. Man, those teeth. They just look too painted on, you know? Like, they don't look like... Oh, we're doing the feathers. Let's focus on the feathers. Guys, come on. Focus up. Focus up. Can't do teeth all day. I don't know. We might be able to do teeth all day. So with comics, I usually take like something like this and just kind of like run a grad through it. And then kind of like add in some shadows. And we'll obviously figure these shadows out. This is why we saved the alpha mask, so that we could quickly snap around. So now we kind of have a structure, kind of. You're comfortable coloring in channels, but digital painting would cause a ton of layers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're only doing value right now. We're gonna use layers in the second. So I don't know if this is like if we've done enough. Whoa. This is me trying to figure this out. Trust me, we're gonna layer this thing. It's gonna, when we're done, it's gonna be like 20 layers. It might be too bright on the top for this, like, yeah, this highlight. All right, so it's too bright on the top. Maybe we should grab the whole thing and darken it before we start adding highlights. There we go. I think when we start adding color, by the way, it's going to be a very dramatic transformation. At least I'm hoping for a very dramatic transformation. Not to say the black and white stuff can't stand on its own. Totally can, but it'll be nice to get back to what I know. Alright, so when I do kind of like a fur collar in comics, this is kind of how I do it. I just kind of like layer the crap out of it. And you get these kind of like weird shapes and stuff. And then from here, I kind of just like grab pieces of it and kind of like, all right, we're gonna like continue this idea, this theme through the rest of the collar. Grab some like pieces. I think that we're gonna end up putting a lot of this color in shadow from like the bottom to the top. You gotta head out. Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks. Chad is out of the chat. So I think that we're gonna actually like, we're kind of fast and loose with this stuff right now. It's a little looser than I thought it was gonna be, but it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. I was saying that like I think I'm gonna put like a lot of this in shadow just because I don't want to be here doing fur all day. I think it's like I'm doing a selfish thing where like I just don't like. You chose this, chat. You picked out of Electro and Vulture. You picked Vulture, and now we're gonna be looking at this. Didn't I say that in the beginning? I think I said that in the beginning. We're rolling till 5 today, by the way. So this might be a part. There might be a part 3 to this, because I kind of have a lot to do, and I woke up a little late. That's my bad. By the way, for the sketchbook challenge, part of the reason why too is I got kind of like sucked into Godspeed. Yeah. I got kind of sucked into penciling this like ship captain in the captain's quarters kind of thing, pirate thing. And I spent longer on it than I thought I was going to. And between that and waking up late, I was like, shit, man, I gotta like do some actual work that's gonna pay the bills today. But for anyone that wants to, they can hop in. I don't know why I said it that was weird. For anyone that wants to, they can hop in the Discord and check it out. I was 22 for 28 this February. I wish that I got more done, but obviously some days it just ain't in the cards. So, like, I know this isn't, like, finished fur, but, like, what if it was? What if, now hear me out. What if, like, you looked at this and you were like, oh, that's done. What do you guys think about that? You think you got 1 out of 28. Nailed it, Hulk Hoquin. Hey, the one you did, that counts. It matters. I saw it. We put it on the fridge. I mean, the feathers don't look bad. I kind of don't know what to do beyond this. Beyond like exactly what I'm doing right now. I mean, they're feathers, but they're not. It's like kind of fur in some instances with the vulture, and this kind of looks more like fur. Um, but yeah, for those of you that don't know, the sketchbook challenge is all about just like drawing every day. It's the only way to get better, and so I figured if I was going to do it, maybe some of you guys might want to do it too. You might want to get better at this whole tapestry of comics. Eventually we got to get kind of dark with the collar so that we can kind of like define the neck. So let's figure that out. Something like that, I think. What are we doing? We're trying to figure out the feathers that might be fur that we're just kind of like, I don't know, just trying to make it work. It doesn't have to be kind of like perfect, because I don't think this isn't like, you know, going for print anywhere, but like I do want to make it good. It turns out fur's tough, but I think we're getting it to a workable place where it's not too bad. Kate, you have a lot of experience. You paint a lot of creatures. You got any fur tips? I mean, I don't think this looks too bad for like a first time approach. Kind of in the zone, which is why I'm not like talking a whole lot. But yeah, I think he looks all right. Highlights with light dodging. Huh. If you can get the tones melding, you can paint drop shadows. Oh my god, I don't know if we're gonna go that far. Get a little bounce light in here. Whew, your advice overwhelmed me. I'm not gonna lie. All right. I think that we are to a place where I don't hate it. Now here's the thing, is like all of the vulture's fur should be white, and I think maybe we went too dark in places. So what if we kind of just took it and... All right, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. We can do with that. We're gonna mess with the levels a little bit before we get into doing the rest of this, because I think that we're using too many white highlights, which is a holdover from you know, my comic book experience. All right. I think the black and white stuff is done. Maybe. Do we have the line art off? We have the line art off, and it doesn't look terrible, right? You'll have to do a fur video. Yeah, man, go for it. I'm into it. I don't think it looks terrible. Like, I think it looks kind of fun. And let's see what it looks like with the line art. See, like, there's all these kind of doodads and stuff. Oh, is it more of the neck down here? We didn't do any of that. Whatever. It's fine. Oh, and he has, like, back of the hair here that we just decided to not do. Man, parts of this look really great with the line art, and parts of this do not look great with the line art. Maybe we can actually, maybe we're not quite done with the black and whites. Like, we can fix the neck problem that we had. I don't think we need the, like, line that we kind of, like, drew. We probably don't need it on the nose either. Some of this just kind of feels like a little unfinished. I don't know if that's because, like, so, all right. Some of it feels a little unfinished in that like I made some marks and then we called it a day, like the corner of the ear and stuff like that. But I kind of like that a little bit. Like the like weird corner of the ear thing is like this is the thing that I was talking about before. Like, I like mark making, and the corner of the ear is like a really cool, strong mark that we made there, and I kind of like that. So, like, I kind of want to keep it. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but it's the thing that I want to do. We can kind of like slowly kind of be like, okay, we don't need the line art there. We can get rid of that. That makes it look better. Let's think about value rather than line art. I think that's the takeaway, is like, all right, markers. I thought this was painting. Mark making, Lone Magi. Okay, so I think that we're kind of getting close to 5, but not really. We can get into some. Let's kind of whoa. do some like subtle kind of stuff. All right. Let's take this out of grayscale. I think, unless the chat has anything they want to say, or forever hold your peace. What do you think about this? As far as like, you know, where we're gonna start off for our first digital painting piece. Is there anything that jumps out at you that like looks wrong? Like we can rein in some of the highlights and rein in some of the dark pieces by doing something like that. Is there anything that like value wise you look at and you're like, this is wrong, or this is bad, or like, I mean, like the teeth are still bothering me, but I think ultimately we're gonna let those chill. We're gonna let the colorist fix those. We're gonna do RGB because this ain't going anywhere. Don't flatten. All right. The only place this is ever going is somewhere on the internet. His collar looks weird to you? He doesn't have a collar on. You mean like the feathers and stuff? Cross Contour, welcome to the stream. All right. I guess we'll... So, like, we could take Chad's line art. Oh, God. Oh, God, that was bad. All right, let's do a thing. We're going to copy it. Paste it into a mask, hit Apple I, and then kind of do that, multiply it down, and then like kind of fade it. I don't know if we're going to keep it that red color, maybe a green instead. I don't know if we'll kind of keep that in or not, but we'll figure it out. Let's do, so... Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. No, gradient fill is not what I wanted. Gradient map, where are you? There you are. So, here are gradient maps. This is a layer that's going above the value that we did already. A lot of people mess with this. Right now it looks inverted because on this side we have like the darkest darks, and on this side we have the lightest lights. So whatever we change this to is going to be light colored. So there we go. Like, so digital painters use this method to kind of like figure out how to do like their color, I guess. Like I was really trying to like figure out like the best way, like, you know, like this is nuts, obviously. Some of these are ridiculous. Like this one's kind of neat because you get like that dark blue under, like in the extreme shadows and everything, but like obviously this is like way too much. But like you could start here and like move in a good direction. We can kind of, and we can add as many like weird kind of points that we want to do. We can put other like colors in. I'm sticking to my regular palette, but so like this is something that's like kind of interesting because like we are doing like warm highlights and cool shadows. So like we can kind of like push the shadows up. Obviously we won't like stop here, but like I mean we can get like maybe even like a little warm in some places. Maybe we can you step away from your computer and suddenly everything's yellow. Yeah. I mean, we can like really warm it up. Oh, get out of here. I mean, that's too much. That looks ridiculous. What if we get rid of this? Yeah, so these are gradient maps, Fake McCoy. I'm sure you're aware. We're just trying to figure out like what we want to do with getting rid of like local color. We can kind of Man, I wish that I could. Can you like can I select a color without like dropping it in there? No, apparently not. Apparently you select the color, then you drop it in. Hot pink. I mean, we can do like a hot pink. That's starting to look weird. That's like a very, very high pink on the end. But we wanna be like kind of greenish because like Vulture's like greenish, right? Oh my god, this is like off the rails. The more that I add to this, the crazier it gets. Vulture is basically green and white, yeah. So I've never used gradient maps before, so clearly I'm trying to figure this out like as we go. He needs like a better mid-tone. Let me think about this for a second. So, all right. We're going to start here and like fade it. Skin tones versus everything. Yeah. You can use gradient maps with masks to map certain areas. Yeah. Skin tones versus everything else. So I was thinking about when we do this, kind of like starting with a gradient map and then like doing a color layer below it maybe or on top of it. But like I've never done multiple gradient maps before. Like how would that, I don't even know how that would necessarily look. Um, so like if we took this hot pink one and we like faded it down, like what does this thing do? Um, soft light it. Like we start to get this very like, I don't know. Like I don't, is this good? Is this bad? I don't even know. Is this a good place to start? Is this a bad place to start? Are we just starting? Like I feel like I want to just like abandon all gradient maps and just like maps is for us. You can set a layer to color and kind of just go from there. Which we might end up doing just to like get the basic color down. I don't know. Is this the coward's way out? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So like we can use like we're just gonna fill in color. See, this is what I was talking about when I was like, oh, we're gonna lean into like what I do, you know? Like this is something that makes sense to me, not the gradient maps. Like, but now if we put a gradient map above this, does it get weird? It gets weird. Kind of weird. We're both still figuring out the gradient map thing. Yeah, like, so I wonder if like the gradient map thing is kind of like made for people who don't know how to you know, like what I do as far as like a colorist is like make color schemes like on the fly. And like maybe just people don't normally, like digital painters don't do that. I don't know. You know, maybe they do. Maybe they are used to like digital painting like that. But I just feel like maybe we got to lean into like all of our necessary advantages that we have, you know? What I was thinking is that we would it's supposed to be a time saver, work in values, get the right composition, then you add colors and bells and whistles. Yeah. But like what if it's not a time saver? That's the thing, is like what if I'm just like used to doing color schemes, so I can just like do some color schemes, you know? Um So like we just put down a couple of colors for and we can actually do like a green instead. So know your tools. If you're comfortable painting, that's fine. Yeah. So like we could just take this and be like, all right, let's wash it with a color. But like I don't actually know, like this could turn out horrible. I don't actually know. Cuz I can't really like pull focus or anything like this. I mean, maybe we do want to do gradient maps like on top of like full color stuff. Like we're starting to head in the right direction if we turn this one on too. Now we're washing it out. But like maybe we just like use this as like a basis, and then we start painting on it from this point. You know what I mean? We add all of our 100% yes. Yeah. I think we gotta like lean into like this is a cheat sheet, and now that we're done cheating or whatever it is that we're doing, now we're figuring out everything else. I wonder how so we're working in RGB. Oh wait, this is the line art. That's the line art. I wonder how shines look, because we're working in RGB. A little shine on the head. I mean, looks okay. What if we did like a yellow instead? His skin tone's like a little jaundicey. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe? His skin tone is a little jaundicey. What if can we fix that with sliders? I wonder if we can. Or if like the other gradient map is making it like that. Oh yeah, we can. I don't know if this is good. I think that like, okay, we've been working on it for like a couple of hours, and I think that the same fatigue that hit when we were working on the hack slash thing is hitting me right now, where I'm like, are we even good anymore? Like, is this even something worth sharing? I mean, I don't know yet. I think that what we're going to do, embrace the growing pains. Yes. What we're going to do is embrace the growing pains. And we're going to kind of take this from here. Man, his skin looks so weird to me. I think it's coming along, but we're gonna do a lot of like actual, like we did all that other painting, and now we got to do more painting, I think. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. So we're gonna do one more round, hopefully. We're going to finish this up either today or not today, either tomorrow or the day after that. My green screen behind me is failing me because the light changed in the room. There we go. Are we back? Are we back? Let's switch to the vintage cam. You can't tell the green screen's failing me on the vintage cam. It's the chicken dance of art. Yeah. So, okay. Sorry, hokey pokey. Yeah. So, okay. I think we've worked it as much as we're going to work it today. We're going to come back on probably on Friday and finish this off, hopefully. if we don't, I don't know what we're gonna do. Make it up to Chad in some capacity by painting on, or not painting, but just like do some actual freaking work on his work. We'll do a more complex piece with him. But I think that for now we're gonna call it. So yeah, we're gonna come back either Thursday or Friday, and then on the weekend we're gonna do. You're not gonna want to miss it. We're gonna make just sit and let him percolate. Yeah, that's where my head is at. Looks like you're experimenting. Yeah, brain has to absorb and process 100%. So we're gonna be doing Curse the Iron Chef stuff. We're gonna be making comics. You saw me kind of suffer through trying to concept design. It was tough. The robot, I'm still not totally happy with. I gotta think about it in the next couple of days before we jump in. But we're gonna be doing page breakdowns and that kind of thing. We're gonna be doing that this weekend sometime. I'm not exactly sure when, Saturday or Sunday. By all means, hop in the Discord. The Discord's awesome. Hop in there. Check out Sketchbook Challenge. Check out everything else. We're talking about art like 24/7. The link of which is down below. Until then, guys, keep making comics. I'll see you Friday.